up your signal again. How's everything?
I am well, Amani. If you can receive my transmission, I suppose I must be near the vertical shaft.
Yep, you are. Ooh, even better. Remember I told you about that enormous quartz structure at the bottom of the vertical shaft? I've been calling it the core. You're approaching that. I'm glad I get to watch this in real time. So, remember how I asked if you felt like chatting a while back? Well, the top of the core is another good place for it. Stand still for a moment at the top of this quartz peak. That's where reception is best. We don't have to chat, but I'd like to. I'm curious about what's going through your head.
Amani, how did you discover the signal, when so many scientists on Earth have scrutinized the cave without noticing it?
Well, you can't blame them. Even if it were a conventional FHSS encoding, it still would have looked like background noise. The trick was that Octo found it first. I programmed him to search for patterns in his input data. Any search he could dream up. I thought if we found life on Mars, it would be nothing like life on Earth. So we needed Octo to look in ways even we weren't thinking of. Boy, was I wrong about that. But it did help Octo find the signal. When I saw he used that scanning subroutine, I knew something was up. So I poured over all the readings coming from that location until I found it.
You programmed Octo to search for patterns, but you were not on that development team.
Oh.
Amani, is there something you should tell me about Octo?
Oh, yeah. I think he left behind those cameras so he could maintain contact with the surface. Or maybe as a trail for us to follow. Since he left them at interesting locations we'd probably visit.
How is it that you programmed Octo when you were not on the Octo development team?
Oh, yikes. You're not gonna let that go, huh? Oh, I'm gonna be in so much trouble. Look, the project director sanctioned it, but yeah, it was a secret. He liked my ideas and wanted me to help with the programming. Liang, I'm really worried that Octo is lost because of me. His behavior seems erratic. I really hope you find him. If his data is valuable enough, then maybe it will have been worth it. Here's my big question. Suppose ancient Mars really did support life on the surface. Oceans, atmosphere, life forms evolving over time, all that. Why is it such a bare rock today?
Perhaps the atmosphere disappeared first. The rest would soon topple. The oceans would evaporate into space and be subsumed underground. The surface would become cold and blasted with radiation.
Which is pretty much the Mars we see today. So, what happened to the atmosphere? The only reason Earth has an atmosphere is because of its liquid core. Convection of that molten metal creates the magnetic field. And the magnetic field deflects the sun's solar wind, which would otherwise blast Earth's atmosphere into space. See where I'm going with this?
If Mars once had a molten core of significant size, it might have been able to sustain an atmosphere, until that molten core cooled.
At which point the whole planet would have become barren and dead, slowly, over centuries. Those are harvester roots, aren't they? All converging at the top of this structure? Yeah, you know what? This thing has been engineered. No way is it naturally occurring. I bet it gathers the energy from those harvesters all over the cave. Let's see. In an electrochemical system like this, the enthalpy would be calculated as a function of...
You are suggesting it was constructed by the sentients. For what purpose?
I have generated an assumption. This object is similar to a power station. It delivers energy into the core. I can measure the amount of power the core is receiving. This is extremely useful to humans. I have developed this interface to expose core power to you. This interface is contained on your map. A harvester contributes 1 unit of core power when its chamber is at biomass level 4. It contributes 2 units at biomass level 5.
Core power? I wonder what the core needs power for.
This has made an impression. The systems of this cave had seemed natural to me, but it is increasingly hard to believe it could have evolved this way.
I actually can't think of anything else I'm dying to talk to you about right now.
I am sure more topics will arise as we explore further.
We can just make conversation if you want. People do that, you know.